Readers Entertainment Radio presents Booklights with your host, author Lisa Kessler. Booklights, where we're shining a light on good books.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in to Booklights today. You're in for such a treat, especially if you are a big-time YA reader. And today we have on author Tara Hodgson, and I can't wait for you to meet her. If you haven't read her books yet, let me read her bio here so you can get to know her. Tara has called herself a teacher of teenagers for 17 years, so we all know she's tough, right? And is now thrilled to call herself a published author as well. When she isn't teaching or writing, she's reading. She loves all genres of books, but especially YA contemporary, fantasy, and dystopian. She spends her downtime working, camping, boating, and at home with her family and animals. And you can learn more about her on her website. I did put a link to her website right there in the show notes. So be sure to check it out. I think she has a newsletter you can sign up for. And she has another book coming up that we're going to talk about. So be sure to check out our website and see what's going on. And without any further delay, Tara, are you there?
I'm here.
All right. You're up in Canada, right? Has it finally warmed up there?
Yeah, I'm in Canada. I'm in Alberta, northern Alberta. So it does warm up, but it hasn't been like exceptionally hot yet. Normally our summers do get pretty good. Like we'll hit 30 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. But it's warm, but it's just been kind of mediocre so far.
Oh, okay. So no shorts yet for you.
No shorts yet. We hit the shorts early. We're pretty resilient. So yes, shorts, lakes, like we're swimming in the clouds. We don't care.
Ah, nice. Yes. Well, when it gets so cold, I'm guessing if there's no snow, it's shorts and sandals, right?
Yeah, we're ready. We're tough.
I love it. Well, you have your debut novel out, Chasing Through Time. Do you want to tell everybody about it and why they should go grab a copy?
Yeah. So Chasing Through Time was really a project of the heart. It was connected very much to my experiences as a junior high teacher. Oh. I was inspired by what I saw happening with my students since the introduction of kids having their own personal devices in their pocket at all times. And just the changes, and it's significant how the lives of teenagers have changed over the past 10 years, I would say, but very especially since COVID, because screens were so dependent on them at that time. And I think it's really progressed since then. So I wanted to just show people what is happening. And in order to do that, I decided to write this book where I have two protagonists. One of the girls, Sarah, is a teenage girl in 2001, and the other girl, Emma, is a teenage girl in 2022. So each chapter switches point of views, and they are the same age, go to the same school, live in the same town, and have many of the same difficulties and struggles that I think are very universal across, time for junior high girls or high school girls. But we see profound differences as well due to this introduction of social media for the girl in 2022. And their paths cross magically in a winter storm. They're able to connect online, and they become friends and become their support system and a lifeline for each other. So through that, I actually show there are some positives to technology, and that's how they were able to find each other and create this really authentic and meaningful friendship. But I also highlight the challenges that I see as a teacher and how it's affecting kids, especially in their mental health.
Right. Yeah. I have, when I'm not writing and I'm doing admin things, I call it homework TV. My grown kids laugh. They're like, what are you watching for homework TV? Because I have it going in the background, but lots of the documentaries are on, the bullying and the online. It used to be like when I was a kid, there were always kids who were bullies, sadly. But you could get away from it when you got home. It was done.
Yeah.
And now that there's social media and your phone, I mean, it's really hard for kids to escape, isn't it?
Yeah, they don't. They never do. And I do showcase that because both girls are struggling with, the mean girls. And again,
Right.
I think that's a very universal thing that kids experience and go through. But Sarah can go home at the end of the day and just be herself and get away, and Emma cannot. She is constantly connected to her device, and most kids have full access 24 hours of the day in their rooms late at night. Nothing good is happening on those phones late at night.
Right.
Those situations always trickle into the classroom the next day, so we see them, we hear about them. But I definitely show that they never ever can escape from it, which can really affect how they're then handling it.
For sure. And
Mhm.
I've even seen things about like even the mean girls, so to speak, or the bullies, the ones that are chasing clout. Their mental health is impacted too because they constantly have to have some kind of drama. And so it's just this, it's a horrible cycle of social media,
Absolutely.
you know?
And I think those people who, I mean, there's always going to be people who are bullies, but now those people, and we see this in adults too, it's not just a teenager
Right,
thing. They're so much more brave behind their screens and they say much more damaging things online than they would ever say to someone's face.
right.
So maybe when we were younger, we weren't hearing those types of things that kids are now hearing.
For sure, for sure.
Mhm.
I recently watched Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, which was really nostalgic for me because I loved that book so much. I mean, it came out before my time, but it was still, relevant, and it still tells a relevant story. But the movie, they made it
Mhm.
be in the 70s, and I'm like, oh my god, no cell phone. She gets really stressed out by bullies and she just goes home. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's not quite the same. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So anyway, it's very different world, and I love that you were able to juxtapose the past and the future all in one story. Did
Mhm.
that really, was that the concept that you needed to make the book go?
Yeah, that was the goal, was to really highlight just those changes because 20 years isn't really that long. But in that 20 years, so much has changed. And I wanted to really show that. And by, the 2001 viewpoint, I was able to go back to when I was in high school and
Right.
showcase those experiences and things that I witnessed. And then now how that looks differently as a teacher.
Right, right. Well,
Mhm.
and when you were writing this book, I don't know if you're a plotter or a pantser, but did you get any big surprises as you're writing it? Like, did you figure something out and go, "Oh my gosh, I hadn't even realized that," or anything like that?
Yeah, for this one, no, I had this very clearly outlined in my head mostly. My second book, I had no idea how it was going to end, but this one I knew kind of exactly where I was going.
And the characters behave themselves. Nobody
Yeah,
made
they
the right
did. Yeah, they really
Good for
did. But
you.
so I didn't know that that was even really a thing until I wrote my second book. And then I'm like, wow, I did not know that was going to happen. And it just did. It's kind of fun. So I'm not like a huge outliner. I had a clear vision of where Chasing Through Time was going to go.
I love that. Well,
Mhm.
what was your journey like? I mean, obviously, you're a devoted teacher, you've been doing it a long time. What made you go, you know what? I'm going to write a book?
Yeah. I think I was feeling very just passionate about what I was seeing and I wanted to get it out there somewhere. And I as a YA reader, I haven't found anything quite like this where we're really addressing this massive character in kids' lives now, which is their cell phones. It's not out there yet and it's so their lives are like revolve around this device. So I wanted to include it in a real way. What is happening because of this new character, this new challenge in their lives? And I felt just kind of voiceless. I didn't know how to do it. And this book just came to me. And I've always loved writing and loved reading. And I was just like, why not? I'm just going to do it and see what happens. So I gave it a shot.
I love that. And
Yeah.
what was your road to publishing like? Everybody's is different, but did you join critique groups? Did you go to
Mhm.
conferences? How did you find a path to get it published?
So I didn't go to critique groups, but I used teenagers. So I used some of my students to
Oh,
help me. I had one girl in particular who really worked through Chasing Through Time with me and helped bring Emma in 2022, her story to life. So we worked together for a full summer, and she was invaluable to my writing journey. And then after the book was done, my friend is an editor, so she's a professional editor, so she was really helpful too. We worked together all through my drafts, and then I did start playing around with querying. I joined some groups and went through the query letter, and I found out very quickly that I am very impatient.
ah, so
I'm
the
like,
easy path.
yeah, I was like, I just felt like it was so timely, and I wanted it to be out there now, not in potentially 2 years or however long it could possibly take if you go through a literary agent.
Right,
Because I wanted to capitalize on, like, this is the moment. It's being discussed right now. It's you, like you
right.
said, there's documentaries out there right now that are covering this, and I think people are really starting to realize that this is a problem. So I wanted to get it out immediately. So I decided to self-publish and just stuck with that route. Yeah.
Good. Well, and I think too that any book that is based in technology, unless it's very futuristic sci-fi,
Mm-hmm.
anything that's based in a certain technology, the clock is ticking because
Yes.
we all move so fast, I mean, in 2 years, they could be using those Google glasses and they
Oh
won't even
gosh,
need a screen. I'm
that
like, oh my
terrifies me. I will be writing books about that. You
oh my God, where
But
everything that they see, they're also seeing their social media feed. I'm like, ah,
yes, it's very scary, but you're absolutely right. That was definitely part of the I just I felt like it needed to be out there now.
yeah. Yeah. I think that was probably, trust your gut. Your intuition was
Yes.
probably right on.
Mhm.
What's been the feedback of the book? What has been the most thrilling thing of your debut book coming out?
I've had really great reviews, and I think I didn't realize how much that would mean. Like, it's so amazing to hear. And what I guess I didn't imagine was how much adults resonated with it. Like, it started out, yeah, this is a YA book, but I think it's very much geared towards adults as well, for a couple of reasons. For one, like the Sarah timeline is very nostalgic.
Right.
I tried to, throw in some, what are people wearing? How are they talking? And that can take those adults back into their high school experience and they can connect to it. But also parents, teachers, counselors. I've had a lot of people in those areas have really great feedback as well about how, just starting conversations. And that was really a goal of mine, is how do we spark some uncomfortable, perhaps, but
Right.
really important conversations that need to happen about what's going on behind kids' screens.
Right. Um, After writing the book and seeing all the reviews and things, are you hopeful about, how do you feel about the situation with kids? Are they getting a handle on, letting it go or being kinder online, or how are you seeing that
Oh,
unfold?
I think there's a long way to go.
Yeah, dang.
Yeah, I think, like, I hope it's, created some change in some families, but I think there's a long way to go. It's a movement that's unfolding now. I don't know if you've heard of Jonathan Hyde. He wrote The Anxious Generation, and he is really pushing forward for this movement of kids holding off on social media, holding off on giving kids cell phones as long as possible until they're developmentally ready to handle all of the implications that come along with it. Um, and I'm going to so my second book continues with the same theme. And I have all these ideas for similar, stories that are just touching on this theme of, how can we be more responsible, or how can we have these conversations with our teens and help them navigate these choppy waters.
Right, right. Well, let's talk about the other book comes out soon, right? In October, the second book.
Yeah, it comes out in October. It's called At Least I'm Trying. And it totally different story, but it takes place in the same world. So it's a fictional town called Cardothia, and it's very much replicated on where I live right now, which is rural area with a small town nearby. Most people live on acreages outside of the small town center. And it more focuses on Snapchat specifically and how kids are being found on Snapchat and taken advantage of.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So it's a little bit more intense. This is definitely geared toward older YA and new adult. The main character is 17, turning 18. So that kind of end of high school time.
Right. When you're trying to figure, when you're getting all the pressure of what are you going to do with your
Yes,
life?
exactly. And she is very much a perfectionist, Reese. She is feeling the pressure, and this kind of leads to her to crumble and seek out some new friends and a new life, which kind of is instigated through these connections on Snapchat and how her life kind of takes a massive detour from there.
Okay. And that one, when I was reading the blurb, sounds a little bit more thrillery, right? Does it
Yeah.
have more of a, of a
Yes,
thriller?
it's still very contemporary, very true to the real world and things that are actually happening, but definitely a more thriller feeling.
All right. Can people pre-order it yet?
Not yet, but hopefully soon.
Okay.
I will be putting that on my website and on my social media for sure as soon as I know.
So everyone be sure to click in the show notes and go to her website so that you can sign up for her newsletter and find out when our book's coming out.
I'm very, very excited about this one. Chasing Through Time, I love it. But your first book, you're learning so much. I feel like it just in the year and a bit that it's been out, I have grown so much as a writer, and I feel so much more confident. The imposter syndrome is not as crippling as it was. And I'm very excited about this release.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, it sounds fabulous. I wanted to ask you, who inspires you? We always like to add to our to be read list. So who do you love to read that makes you go, oh my gosh, I got to go write?
Yeah, my number one would be Kathleen Glasgow. She has written a ton of YA contemporary books like Girl in Pieces, You Should Be Home Now, The Glass Girl. And I feel like she just like touches on the hard stuff, which is what I'm trying to do. What are the hard topics, the hard situations, the real gritty experiences that some kids are going through? And she does it in such a beautiful, sensitive way. And she just makes me want to be a better writer.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Do you like YA books where there's hope? I saw you read Dystopian too, and sometimes there's hope in dystopian stories, but
yes. I read all the genres, to be honest. I just love reading. I'm a mood reader, but whatever I feel like. But I do feel like contemporary stories, even like, the hard stuff, and even my books, there is this sense of hope at the end. Like, yes, things are hard sometimes. And yes, kids are going to mess up. And sometimes those mess ups are really big.
Right.
But there is a path out and there is hope. And with Chasing Through Time, the mental health piece, it does get pretty dark at times. But by the end, things aren't perfect.
Right.
But we know there's a chance that they're going to get better. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, we all were teenagers and we can remember how giant everything seemed. Oh my God, your life is over. And as an adult, you can go, oh my God, I never see those people anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't matter.
But at the time, it's like all encompassing, right?
Yes. And I'm sure part of that is our frontal lobe isn't finished being developed, but we feel like a grown up. And also that feeling of like that new adult push of that you have to know what you're going to do with the rest of your life and what you're going to be. And so it gives you the illusion that you are a grown up and that this is your life, you know, when the reality is this is a blip on your radar.
Just
I mean,
tiny.
you know?
Yeah, absolutely. But and as an adult, like we do tend to forget that feeling. So I think just being sympathetic and understanding and helping kids work through that. And I hope my books can help them see that for sure and help adults see that as well and have those conversations with them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And have a way to open those conversations. Because when your kids are teenagers, it becomes sometimes for the parent, it becomes, you know, that now they're moody and now I have to drag information out of them. And I'm not an FBI trained investigator. So how do I have these conversations? Right. So, so sometimes fiction can really help bridge that gap.
Exactly. And the thing with teenagers, it's the keeping away the judgment is so critical. I think as a teacher, like I have a lot of kids come to me and talk to me and I just withhold judgment no matter what they say. And I want my books to be non-judgmental as well. Like if this happens to you, let's just talk it through and figure out what to do differently or how to fix it or how to navigate it from here. Because if you judge a teenager, they're never coming to you again. You're done.
Right. You have to keep the pearl clutching inward.
Yeah. Hold your judgment inside. You can judge them later.
Yes. Later when you're alone.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Well, what is your hope that people get from reading your books? You know, obviously you're very focused on technology and how it's affecting teenagers. Do you have an ultimate goal, dream that people will, you know, get from reading your fiction?
I guess the goal would be just maybe people being more aware of the harms of handing your kid the access to the entire world when they're 10, 11 years old. And now their whole life becoming it just revolves around that piece of technology. And then they're missing out and how that affects their health. I don't think we knew when cell phones became so mainstream. Nobody really knew what the ripple effects would be 10 years down the road. And now we're seeing that. So, I don't want to be judgmental to parents either. That's definitely not my goal. But if you are giving your kids access to these devices, then you need to be having conversations and having boundaries and working with your kids and having constant communication about what's going on. Because I have seen the absolute worst that can happen when kids are absorbed on these devices and how it can significantly affect their mental health to the point of potential suicide. And the cutting and self-harm and deep depression. I have seen that firsthand, and I don't want that to happen to kids. So having these conversations and just, you know, kids when they're teenagers, they still need you, if probably even more sometimes than they need you when you're younger, even if they're moody, even if they're pushing you away, they still want you and they still need you. So just being that steady presence for them and helping them navigate something that they might not be able to actually understand completely, this full access to the world, help them be their partner. And I just hope people realize what could happen.
Exactly. And also knowing that there is a safe space where you're unconditionally loved and accepted no matter what, knowing that you have something no matter what. I recently binge watched through Never Have I Ever. I don't know if you watched it, but oh my God, it was a fantastic show. But I was just thrown by the horrible decisions this girl would make from her grief, from everything else. But it was also so comforting that she always had a safe zone to go to with her family. And I think that's so important now. And everyone's so busy all the time, but to make that space where there's one place where they're safe, you know?
Exactly. And Chasing Through Time, I definitely show that because Sarah in 2001 has that safe place. and Emma doesn't in 2022. So I showed, her parents too. Like, her mom is a businesswoman. She is on her phone consistently answering emails, phone calls. She's super disconnected from the tech as well. So they become even further disconnected from each other. Because it's not just a teenage problem, it's an adult problem too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so
we
I
have
wanted
our phones at the dinner table. We're like, did you see this? And we're sharing.
I have to remind myself, like, no, put it away, stop scrolling.
Yes.
It's a universal issue. So I wanted to highlight that disconnection definitely helped lead to Emma's decline as well, where Sarah was able to push through it because she had her home, her family, her mom. That was her safe space.
Right.
And that is so critical.
Yes. Oh, I love that. So everyone listening, be sure to run and get Chasing Through Time because it sounds like it is a really important read, especially if you have, teens or almost teens or really, any age. But before we run out of time, how can people find you when they're so excited from reading your book? Are you on social media or should they go to your website? How can they get in touch?
Social media primarily. I've found the past year it's been so interesting learning to promote myself on social media about, this book that's kind of anti-social media. So the irony is not lost on me, but I definitely kind of made Instagram my home. That's where I post all of the information about my upcoming book, things I'm working on, books I'm reading, and other recommendations. So I have most stuff there. And I also have that I'll transfer to my Facebook page as well. So my handle is at Tara Hodgson Author. And that would be the primary place. I do update my website here and, here and there.
Right.
But
right.
Social media would be the most relevant place to find all the details.
Okay, perfect. And also, I just want to remind everyone who listens knows I always do this reminder, but I can't help myself because I'm a writer too. And sometimes we have hard days. And I know that everybody thinks, well, they're too busy. No, they're not. Send a message or write an email or something. Let authors know that their stories matter because you never know. You could be inspiring them to write that next chapter, even though it's hard because of your little note of encouragement. So don't be afraid to reach out.
That it means the world. Like, I've gotten a few messages from readers and it's just strangers. That was the first weird thing. Like, of course, your first book, your family, your friends, a bunch of my students all bought it, but they have to say nice things. So when you hear it from a stranger, it is the best feeling ever.
Yes, the best ever. So if you're reading Chasing Through Time and it really spoke to you or helped you through a situation or whatever, send that email or that note or a text or whatever, because that can really make all the difference for authors, especially when it's their debut book. So don't be shy.
Yes.
Well, it was great chatting with you. Thanks so much for being here. And everybody run out and grab Chasing Through Time and keep connected with Tara so that you can grab At Least I'm Trying when it comes out in October.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. This was awesome.
Thanks for joining us on Booklights. Be sure to connect with us at www.readersentertainment.com for articles, blogs, videos, and podcasts that matter to readers.